Hello, my hair friends. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to do a just regular blowout on fine, limp hair. Okay, so this is Sorella. She is one of my team members and a perfect example of someone who has just that fine, baby fine hair. It does nothing. And I'm going to walk you through, show you some tips and tricks on how we just do a good blowout. So if you're new, if you struggle with fine hair, this video is for you. So one of the main points of this as well is that we need to make sure our product choice is on point. So I know we all hate PK or product knowledge, but you need to get acquainted with whatever products you use. So in this case, I'm using Oribe, and you will want like just a brush that you can brush through, some pin curl clips or rollers, depends on what you like. I like pin curl clips because I prefer the speed. So the other thing that you will also need is a good round brush. I do have preferences on round brush, and it does depend on hair type. For Sorella's hair type, because she has got fine hair, it sits pretty straight, like there's no curl to her hair. I'm using a thermal one, which means it is metal and then it's got the bristles. My favorite is the concave ones by Denman. They're called the head huggers. I'm not going for a really big one, and this is to have control in my blow dry, okay? A bigger brush doesn't necessarily mean more volume, so just keep that in mind, but this is what I'm going for today, and now I'm going to walk you through what we do. Okay, so I'm only doing this once, so we're going to rip through it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to detangle her hair when we come back from the sink. Now, I want to be clear, before I started, I made sure that my product choice was on point, including the shampoo and conditioner. So I started with K18 Detox to remove whatever stuff is up on her scalp, in her hair. We just wanted to make sure that it was a clean palette. The next thing I did was made sure that my second shampoo and conditioner didn't weigh her hair down. So you need to know your product for this when it's fine-haired gals. Now I'm starting with Feather Bomb, so this is important. We're adding our moisture back in. So I always like to add moisture and hold for sure for every client that gets a blowout. So in Sorella's case, like I'm a diehard of Super Shine, but what has happened is that her hair is too fine for Super Shine. It will weigh it down. So the second thing that we're going to put in her hair is, because she does have finer hair, is I'm using Maximista, which gives the illusion of more hair, okay? And I know that I can be quite generous with this product, so I am layering that baby in. I'm not shy. Often it is a delicate dance with fine hair, so you do need to know your products very, very well for this. Just to give a bang and blowout, that's all. And then my third step, because this is her problem. So some people, it might be frizz, where you might need to use something specifically for the frizz and control. So you do have to kind of like customize and tailor what you use. So the next thing I'm using on her is Trez Set. So Trez Set is by Oribe. It's like a spray mousse, and that's just going to give me that hold and control and allow me to build that volume in. Again, same thing. I know this product very well. One of my go-to products by Oribe is Imperial Blowout. A little bit heavy for her though, because it's cream based. Sprays tend to work better with fine-haired gals, or fine-haired as a whole. Now, squeezing out the extra moisture, I'm going to get straight into blast drying. When you blast dry, take the nozzle off. Lots of people use the nozzle on, but we want to get this done in a timely fashion where she's good to go. She's got a client coming in here like right after this, so we need to get her going. Now, the secret with blast drying is that I am already starting to build the volume. So what I'm doing is, as I'm taking the hair and I'm putting it in the opposite direction. If you're not a professional and you're just watching this as a whole, this is also just a hot tip to build in volume to make it easier for yourself. So we want the roots about 80% dry. Notice that I wasn't really focusing on the ends. When we blast dry, it is key to focus on the roots, continuously moving that blow dryer as not to burn the client's scalp. Now, what I've done is basically from the ear down, I've parted out. Her hair's fine. I can work in bigger sections. I load up my blow dryer. So when I say that, I am preheating it. We want to make sure that the brush is doing the work for us. This is a thermal brush. Here's me testing it. I can make sure that the brush itself is actually hot going in. So the first thing I'm doing then is I'm getting ready to smooth and polish up those roots, okay? So we're starting to pull it for the root. We want to make sure that we're pulling her up to get that volume. Now, the mid shafts and ends, I'm making sure that I really get that cuticle nice and smooth. Now, this is when I start wrapping the ends, okay? So there is a heat protector in this as well, and I'm just starting to start the roll. So I don't want to run the blow dryer consistently straight down, or I'm going to basically just make it smooth. In this case, I do want that turn at the end, which you can see I'm starting to build. Slow and steady wins this race, okay? You don't want to be whipping that brush around nonstop, okay? You see a lot of people doing this nonsense with the blow dryer and stuff, and it's like, it's really unnecessary. Grab the hair, start wrapping it underneath. Now, we want to make sure we polish those ends up. So we want to make sure that we are moving the brush while we're doing this, okay? So you see how I'm moving it round, working it up, heating it, letting the brush take the shape. So same thing, I keep rolling it. So we want to make sure we get that nice bend. Now, what I do to set it is I take my little pin clip and I put it in and just pin it. Okay, and I continue this throughout the next section as well. So don't worry too much about, like, I don't love hitting it with the cool shot if I know that I'm going to pin it. This is a time thing as well. We want to work smarter, not harder. It's going to set when it's there by the time I get to the top. So as you can see here, I'm over directing the volume, okay, to make sure that that gets that little bit of lift, to give her that little bit of height, that little bit of volume. So I basically continue on like this, just rolling the brush, making sure that I'm really working that hair, particularly at the ends. We want to make sure we get those fuzzies and those ends under control. Now, Sorella did need a haircut. She does know this, so I apologize, Sorella. So you will find if someone needs a haircut, you will be working harder. It's a really good, actually, indicator if someone needs a haircut, if we're really, really struggling here. So I'm just going to skip along now. I'm speeding the video up past this point from here because the next section is essentially the exact same thing. So we're going to take our hair kind of in just kind of around where the eyebrow is, you'll kind of see. So wet finer hair girls, you can work in bigger sections, which is the beauty of it. And they seem like large sections, but I promise you they're not by the time you get in there and stuff. So I'm just going to speed this part of the video up, but you just continue on like normal and just add that volume in, making sure that you are tucking those ends and really working those ends properly. And yeah, we'll come back where it starts to change. Okay, so now we have the top section in essentially two parts. I want you to take note of my body. I am short, my body position. I am 5'4". So look at the way I'm over directing. For longevity in this career, you need to start using your chair and stop breaking your back. I see time and time again where lots of hairdressers have a lot of back problems, but it means that we just have to work smarter. So instead of reaching over her from the back, I'm stepping to the side and I'm pulling everything forward. This way, my arms are still like they're going up, but they're not going up like where I'm on my tippy toes, okay? So just making sure that I'm getting that control in again and getting those ends. So we do the exact same thing for the two sections at the back. So this is like essentially the top of the crown, what I'm working on here. And all you really need to do is the exact same thing. So I'm just going to speed this up, but just watch your body positioning. Start stepping to the side and pulling it forward instead of like standing behind and trying to drag your arms forward. Just adjust your body position. It will make your life a lot easier. Your body will thank you. And then you just continue on like how we have been for the top two sections here. Now, the two side sections, you will do the same thing, but you're going to pin slightly different. So I'm going to explain why when we get there. Okay, so for this bit, when I clip it, I'm actually clipping when I wrap it, I'm clipping it on top. So I'm collapsing the volume here on the two side ones. So the reason for this is that I don't want it to like round out and I don't want the widest part or the width to be there. It's not flattering on most people and it just gives a more modern look to a blow dry. So those two side ones I actually put forward. There's a time and a place for everything, but for this kind of look, that's not what I'm hoping to do. Now, I'm adjusting my body position to where I'm either to the side or in front of her. So I'm not standing above her trying to overreach and overexert my body. So I'm blow drying everything forward here to kind of get like that maximum volume where it just opens up beautifully. So essentially, because there are multiple lengths, she used to have bangs. We're in the process of growing them out, as you'll see. I really have to work that brush, okay? So this is a slow and steady process, and it is difficult. If you do need to do it in two sections because you're struggling, you absolutely can. I am just lifting everything up and then I'm just like seeing where those ends are and making sure I'm getting that bevel in. So once this is done, what we do is we let this sit minimum 10 minutes, okay? So we let her set for about 10 minutes after this, and then we're going to do the takedown, which I will show you now. Okay, so we actually left it in longer than 10 minutes because she went to go do a few things, and then we got sidetracked. So basically all I'm doing is taking everything out, and then I'm going to use a comb to brush this out. I'm not using a brush just because I don't want to disrupt it too much, and I'm going to use texture spray. So I'm using a wide tooth comb, brushing everything off away from the face, and I'm adding my texture spray where I want it. Now, we're just discussing where we want her part, but depending on your guest will depend how you like to finish this. Now, because she has fine hair and I know the hold's good, so here's the final look. Just a gorgeous, sexy blowout with movement. Nothing too crazy, just giving her that volume, that va-va-voom. Anyway, hope you guys learned something. Subscribe for more. Bye!